We got President Trump coming up next. I'm going to grab a beer. I'll meet you inside the White House. This is President Trump. Remember when we used to say everyone's favorite president, President Trump? This is President Trump on Fox Business from just about an hour and a half ago.
Mr. President, welcome. Thanks for coming back to the Kudlow Show. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Anyway, I thought I'd start with Dow 50,000. Congratulations with America. That was your Truth Social. The economy is hitting on all cylinders. Most of the experts have been completely wrong about it. So as you look at this thing, it's the midterm elections and so forth. How good a year is it going to be, 2026?
Stream cheers
Well,
to the cast.
I think it's going to be great. The you know, when you say 50,000, and by the way, S&P 7,000, which
Yes.
is, I guess, almost the equivalent, I think.
It's a huge number.
When you think about it, right? And I remember when I first won, they said, if he gets the Dow up to 50,000 by the end of his fourth year.
By the way, my friends, I hope that every time I stream cheers the stream, if you happen to have a drink, you're stream cheersing the stream too.
He will have
It's an
done
interactive stream.
miracles. And we're at the end of the first year. So when you think about it, that's great. And the S&P, the same thing. And everything else. I mean, everything's going great. We inherited a total mess from Biden. And not only the borders, but the economy, the inflation. The inflation was the worst ever in history. They say 48 years, but basically ever in history. And prices were high. And you don't
Ballyhoo
hear them
Arm,
use
welcome in,
the
Elite Domer.
word affordability anymore. They can't use it because we brought the prices down. Oil now, I was in Iowa last week, and they were
What's up, Jojo?
$1.85 a gallon. And if you go all over the country, in many cases now it's broken $2 a gallon. And that's like a major tax cut. And we've given them that.
Oh, Sindley says, can I smoke a bowl? Only if you make the emoji when you do it, Sindley.
in the great big beautiful bill. So we've had a very good run, and we want to keep it going.
So interesting. Falling energy prices permeates the entire economy.
It's so big.
Hundreds and hundreds of people don't understand that.
We encourage
and never
smoking
give you
inside the
credit for
dome.
it. So the signature legislation embodying the
I
policy
become much
was
funnier.
the one big beautiful bill. It was a one big beautiful bill.
That's right.
What's up, Wally, Elite Domer?
Tax
Welcome
cuts,
in.
deregulation, energy dominance, and the tariff reciprocity. Is there any plans to do a second big, beautiful bill? Is there another reconciliation bill out there? There might be deeper tax cuts or more deregulation or what? Anything of that nature.
Waffle Meat says, if you're going to smoke, crack a window. I have asthma, says Waffle.
So when I
Oh, come
first
on,
came in-
come on, Waffle. Come on, Waffle. We're going to hot botch. We're hot boxing the dome.
We met with John Thune, who's a terrific guy, and with, as you know, Mike Johnson, the speaker. And we had about 17 different bills.
17,
And I said,
you
let's
say?
put them all together. And everybody was against. They weren't really, but it was a long shot.
I lobbied you for one big, beautiful bill.
You
remember?
did.
It was
You
after
did.
the Army-Navy game.
You did, and
Yes.
plenty of people said, you can't get it done, don't do it, it'll be bad. And we put everything together. And this was a 4-year package. And we put it together, and we got it passed. And it was sort of a miracle because, you know, I think it worked the other way. There was something in there for everybody. That's how we got it
Everybody's
passed.
smoking in the dome.
I'm not sure that we would have gotten very many
I
of those
won't-
bills, but we
me
had
not
many
yet.
bills. We put them all together. And so in theory, we've gotten everything passed that we need. Now we just have to manage it, but we've gotten everything passed that we need for 4 years. Do we have other things in mind? Yeah, we do. We have things in mind. We have perfecting a little bit of what we did, because this is the biggest bill ever passed in the history of Congress. And it's a great thing. But we also have other bills we want to get. We want to get the Save America Act passed. Save America is on voting. We want people to have voter ID. We want people to have proof of citizenship. And we want to have no mail-in ballots other than if you're in the military or you're sick or you're away.
Do you think we're going to get this passed, Dome? Let's ask the Dome. I mean, Scott Presler working freaking overtime to get this SAVE Act passed. Let's take a look. Put a 1 inside the chat if you think we passed the SAVE Act. Put a 2 inside the chat if you think we don't.
Or some reasonable but good excuse.
Can that get done, you think, before the midterm
It
elections?
polls at about 94%, including Democrats are at 87%, other than Democrat politicians because they cheat.
It's a huge vote. I guess the House is going to re-vote on it because of the photo ID,
Right.
Which is so important. Actually, you need a photo ID to vote on the floor of the House, even though Democrats are opposed to a photo
That's right,
ID.
that's right.
They can't vote for their own bill.
But think of it, Larry. So you have a thing called Save America Act. Save America Act. And Schumer's going to say, I oppose it. How do you oppose Save America? So this is simply on voting. Voter ID. We want a statement that you are a citizen of America. I think that's a reasonable thing to ask. And no
I think so,
mail-in
too.
ballots, which are very corrupt.
What's up,
No
red, white,
country in
blue?
the
Welcome
world
back again.
Is doing mail-in ballots, or especially the way we do them. I mean, they send them all over the place. Nobody knows. It's totally corrupt. No country in the world does what we do.
I vote in the state of Connecticut. You don't need a photo ID. You can vote if you just show them a credit card or a debit card,
That's
which
insane.
anybody can get their hands on. I think it's a scam. I mean, it's just
Well,
remarkable.
Connecticut is a very corrupt voting place. That's why a guy like Blumenthal can keep getting elected, because it's,
I mean, we're
you
so
know, he admitted
stupid
that
as a people.
He cheated on the war like nobody's ever cheated. He said he was a great war hero from Vietnam. And I went to Vietnam for a couple of days, and I spent 2 more days than he did there. You know, he was never there. And he keeps getting elected. Sort of amazing. It's amazing that he was able to get out of that one. But I bring it up because it was one of the most, maybe.
I think we passed the SAVE Act. I'm not 100% sure. What's her name? Some senator from Alaska, Lewinsky. I think it starts with an L. She came out and she said that she's a no on the SAVE Act. I mean, this chick is such a rhino. What is Alaska doing? But I think that she keeps getting elected because Alaska has, what's that, ranked choice voting? How can one state have ranked choice voting? I don't like that's so set up.
The most egregious I've ever seen.
Anyway, let's come back to the economy, if I may. You had a line in your speech to Davos. I want to read it.
Davos.
It used to be
Oh, I miss
when we had a
Davos.
great quarter, a great month, great earnings, great anything.
That was a
any
great
good
week in the
news,
Dome.
The stock market went up. We have to do that again. So the thought occurs to me, it's happening. You've had great earnings. You've had great GDP. You're running 4% plus on GDP. Nobody thought that possible. Inflation numbers are relatively muted. So it looks like now we're back to where you want it to be. The stock market will go up on good news. And because of your Federal Reserve appointments, they're not going to take the punch bowl away just because.
Oh, the Federal Reserve appointment? You mean the guy that was a member of the Bilderberg Group? Yeah, he's great. Let's bring that guy in.
The economy is growing. I think that's what's happening.
So you're old enough to know.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was
And I am
Moralski,
too,
Ron.
unfortunately, in both cases, right? But we're old enough to remember when the stock market, when there was good news, the market went up. When there was bad news, the market went down. That's the way it should be. Goes up. Now, if there's good news, the market goes down because everyone said, oh, inflation. They have the yips. You know, golfers have the yips. They can't sink a 3-foot putt.
What's
When
the
word
Iraq
inflation, even
Elite
the
Domer?
concept
Nice to
of
see
it.
you.
Well, growth doesn't mean inflation. And what it means is you can never really grow the country because as you do well, they keep trying to put you down. And so when good news is announced, I mean, sometimes great news is announced and the market literally crashes. Bad news is announced and the market goes up because of interest rates, because they say, and we have to go back to the old system. When
Thanks
we
for the
have good
repost,
news,
E-Rock.
the market should go up. And we have bad news, the market should go down. And we'll take care of inflation as it comes. We can take care of it. I took care of it. I had the worst inflation in history with Biden, aside from borders and everything else that we had to take care of. But we had the worst inflation in history. And now, for the last 3 months, as you know, it was 1.3%.
You know, you said in Davos also, good growth can actually bring inflation down.
Correct.
Supply side
How good
growth,
was that
happened with
week?
us.
if you're putting more
of
goods
Davos
on
in
the
the
market,
Dome?
that brings prices down.
Yeah, it happened with us. I mean, we have great growth.
No one else on Rumble covers Davos the way that we do. We're in there. We're in like the front row of Davos. We're watching the freaking stuff. When we are full-time, my friends, oh my God, the Davos experience, we will explode as a stream. We will.
And our growth hasn't even, you haven't seen.
Next year, full-time
we have
Davos.
$18 trillion invested in this country.
By
Nobody's
January.
ever had
Let's
anything
go.
like it. We haven't. When I say nobody, it's not even close. Not even close. I think the record is $3 trillion. We're at $18 trillion. And, you know, they talk about construction jobs are way up, right? Well, they're up because they're building all these factories all over the country. You have car plants under construction. You have, I spoke to Mr. Toyota in Japan. I said, what's your name? Toyota. I said, if your name's Toyota, you're a very rich guy. He's about 90 years old. And he said, I'm going to invest $10 billion in the United States building plants. But everybody is. They're all doing it. They're all doing it. And they're building AI. We know about that. We're leading China. We're leading everybody and everything. This is the greatest period of anything that we've ever seen. Plus, we have a powerful military, a great military, strong, that I rebuilt in my first term. Because I had a great first.
When I was helping in a political campaign, when I was doing social media and blah, 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 speech writing, blah, 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 do you believe that I actually did that job? I mean, that's what brought me to Florida. They moved me to Florida to do that. Do you believe that? But I went to this, I was at this one guy's house. I mean, obviously very well off, on the lake, huge house, built it himself, blah, blah, blah. And I asked him, we're in his office, and, you know, we had this downtime, and I'm like, how do you ever get uncomfortable making large deals? And he like, without even blinking, he's like, it's the same as any deal. You just move the decimal point over. And I'm like, fuck, you move the decimal point. Wait, it's the same deals. He said it so casually. It's the same deals, just with a few more commas.
Term. You remember very well. You were there.
That stuck in my head, man.
We had the greatest economy.
The same
in the
deal, just a few more commas.
We're blowing it away now.
Yeah, the numbers are even greater now. So Kevin Warsh, your Fed nominee, so he wants to change their models. He doesn't believe that growth causes inflation. It's a whole new game. It may take him a bit to change the board staff, but it seems to me that he's going to change that now. Is that the principal reason why you wanted him there, changing models?
I liked him. I don't know. You know, it's not even, yeah, it's that, but I just liked him. I think he's somebody that's going to be a real influencer. I think he's agrees with what I'm saying. Larry, we are paying so much more interest than we should be paying. We're the strongest country in the world. And let's go back again another 20, 25 years. We were always the lowest interest rate. Even if we weren't doing well, our country was the lowest. We used to pay like almost nothing. Other countries would always, no matter what. Now, we're like number 38 because we have had stupid people running our country.
Eric says, whenever I hear E-Rock, it gets my attention. That was my on-the-job nickname for 20 years. That's awesome, Eric.
You know, I had an incident with a very nice country, Switzerland. They were paying no tariffs, sending stuff over here like nobody could believe. And we had a $42 billion deficit. And we weren't taking anything. I said, well, we have to do something because we have to even that up a little bit. I didn't have to get everything at one time. So I put on a 30% tariff, which is very low. Still, we were having a big deficit, but it was half the deficit. Then I got an emergency call from, I believe, the Prime Minister of Switzerland, and she was very aggressive, but nice, but very aggressive. Sir, we are a small country. We can't do this. We can't do this. I couldn't get her off the phone. We are a small country. I said, you may be a small country, but we have a $42 billion deficit with you. No, we are a small country. Again and again and again. I couldn't get her off the phone. So it was at 30%. And I didn't really like the way she talked to us. And so instead of giving her
so he said, make me a sandwich.
I raised it to 39%. And then I got inundated by people from Switzerland, and I figured, you know what, we'll do something that's a little bit more palatable, at least now. But I realized that all these, you know, Switzerland you think of as, you know, ultra.
Willis, what's up, Willis?
chic,
Valley Hope, welcome
ultra
back.
Perfect. They're not. They're only that way because we allow them to rip us off and make all this money.
We got great chatters,
And
man.
I
Great
could say the
chatters.
same thing with another 40 countries. You know them better than I do. You and I could name them. Some are much more egregious. And I realized then that the only reason we aren't doing the kind of numbers that we should be doing is because we've allowed countries over the years to take advantage of. By the way, with tariffs, they charge tariffs. We didn't charge tariffs. We didn't charge anything. Honestly, we were stupid people, run by stupid people. We lost our chip business to Taiwan. We lost our car business to Mexico and Canada. We lost our car business to Germany and Japan, and everybody else. I mean, all over the world, South Korea. Look, we haven't really, and I'm being very conservative now. I'm really being a very conservative person. But we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariff money. And you know what it's doing? They're moving here. That's why it's $18 trillion. They're moving their plants here because they don't want to pay tariffs. And only stupid people or people that really hate Trump could argue with us. And the other thing...
And you love factories. You love it when they build factories.
I love it.
I've
I want
always
Japan
said,
to come and build factories
except
here.
you want to understand a good chunk of his trade policy. It's about factories, building factories here. Is that fair?
Well, we're building a record number in history. There's never been anything like it.
It looks like it.
And that means auto plants, not just AI. Now, AI, we're leading China by a lot. You know, I did something with AI. So AI, for whatever reason, needs massive amounts of electricity, right?
Which way do you think the fourth turning is going to go, Willis? Is it going our way or the other way? What does the chat feel right now? I think we all recognize. I mean, we're all, if we're inside the dome, if we're on Rumble, we all understand what a fourth turning is. So which way do you think it's going, chat? Let me know.
More electricity than the entire country produces right now by double. Now, who would even think that's possible? We're not going to get that off the grid, or we can't rebuild our grid overnight.
Elite Dumber Habs, the worst moderator in the world, just waiting for the right moment to say the first thing. I think we're fucked, says Habs. Thanks,
and everyone
Habs.
said we can never really dump, because China does very well. You know, they have lots of coal. They use coal like nobody uses coal. Clean, beautiful coal. So what happens
Why is this guy a moderator?
Re-injuvenated coal also, but we're not allowed to use the word coal without saying clean, beautiful coal, because it needs a PR job, right? But China has an ability to make a lot of it. You got to respect them and admire them. They're making a lot of electricity. But we're going to make more, because I'm letting everybody that builds a plant build their own electric plant. They're going to become like a utility. So they're building a massive plant that's 4 miles long by 4 miles wide. I mean, buildings that nobody's ever seen. And I'm letting them build electric plants, generating plants. Some are nuclear, some are oil and gas, some are coal as a backup, you know, just in case for emergency reasons. But they're building their own electricity. They're producing their own electricity.
Elite Dumber Habs says Hard Times is working 40 years and getting replaced by a computer, daddy. And then they give you a watch and then they just send you off into pasture.
Electricity. And anything they have left over, they'll sell it into the grid. And it's been unbelievable. And now we're building...
Dusty roads.
I mean, we are dominating everybody.
With 100% depreciation, immediate expensing.
So big.
Which is so huge.
They take it all in 1 year. They take the cost of a factory, they deduct it in 1 year.
So you're saying to them, you know, if you build here, you don't have to worry about tariffs.
No tariffs.
And if you build here, you're going to get an incentive. You can write it off in the first year.
Right. And other incentives. But the biggest one, I've always said, you know, one of the reasons my first term was so successful, we passed a tremendous tax cut bill also. But one of the things we did is 1 year depreciate. In other words, you take whatever you're investing, whatever it is, you write it off in 1 year. It used to be 38 years, 42 years, depending on where you were, but 38 years on average. And I let them take it at, and you know what it meant? It meant much greater growth. We had tremendous growth, and I think it's being superseded by a lot.
This was an hour ago, Rachel.
I'm so proud of you. You're part of the alumni. You know,
Yes, sir.
And I wanted you. I'll tell you what it is. First of all, he's great. Second of all, his ratings are great, and they should be. But I wanted to keep Larry in any form possible. But he said I have to go out and make some money. So it's one of those things. And your show's been a
Thank
real
you, sir.
success.
Thank you, sir.
Your show's been
Appreciate
a real success.
that.
But I will say that I've been watching you and everybody else for years, and they say 3% growth. Oh, this is great. GDP, 3% GDP, 2.5%. They're very happy. 2.5%, 2%, 1%. They're happy with anything. We should grow 15 or 20%. Larry, every time we're growing, they stop it by announcing that we're
Yes.
going to raise interest
Yes.
rates and stuff. So we're going to do 5.4%. It was announced with a Democratic shutdown, which cost us at least 1.5 points. Okay, people don't realize we could have been at 7%. We should be at 15%. If I'll tell you, if
Willie says, Mr. Rotella, side note, what is your take on Steve Bannon and the Epstein stuff? Hard to know who to trust at this point. I mean, I'm a huge Bannon guy. Listen to him for as long as I can remember being into politics. Well, I mean, I've been into politics since I was 13, but America First politics. I'm with Sharon. It's very concerning. I think that's a fair statement to make. We want to be fair, but we also want to, the most important thing in streaming is we want to be authentic. And it is very concerning. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but at this moment right now, on February 10th at 8:02 p.m., it is very concerning to Mr. Rotella.
our new head of the Fed, who I think is going to be great, and he's a really high-quality person. He was and your friend Kevin was great, but I want to keep him with us, too. I said to King, look, I had the two Kevins, right? But I wanted to keep him with us. He's doing great.
And a side note, no mercy, no matter who. I think that's something that we got to keep in mind. No mercy, no matter who.
If he does the job that he's capable, we can grow at 15%. I think more than that.
Well, 15 is a big number, sir.
But Larry, you can do it. The problem is every time we used to grow at 15%, and when we were starting as a country,
That's right,
growing.
Willis.
Yes.
No matter how much we love them. More importantly, no matter how much we love them, Willis.
Incentives. Today we have a lot of socialism,
I
a
love
lot of
it when you talk
communism.
about
We have a lot of bad
incentives.
things.
Yes.
But there's no look. We did 5.4 with a shutdown. Think of it. We can do that. This country can do it. Tariffs are very important. The money I'm taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariff money. And we're going to start paying down debt. This country has never been so strong, militarily or any other way.
It was a fair interview. I'm not losing my mind over it. I didn't write down any clips from it, so boy, oh boy. I love the questions that we're getting tonight, and I do believe that we are definitely in, this is a Bannon term too, not a Bannon term, but he says it all the time. Fog of war. We are definitely in the fog of Epstein right now. So let's see what happens. We're still waiting on 3 million more pages to come out. And how the hell are we going to get through the first 3 million? Okay, friends, coming up next. We're taking an AI extravaganza through the architecture and the layout of Epstein Island for 8 minutes. This video could be pretty good. Let's see what this is about. We'll be right back after this musical break.